Hi, tomorrow, 6th November 2025, there is going to be the first phase of Bihar elections. 121 constituencies out of 243 are going to polls tomorrow. And a week later, the remaining 122 constituencies will go to poll, and the results are expected to be announced on November 14th. Obviously, Bihar is a very important state in the electoral politics of India, and it is a state, though many Biharis claim that politics is in their DNA. It is one of the states which has the least voting percentage. Even during the last assembly elections, the voting percentage was around 57, and in fact, it was went down marginally during the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Uh, Many people say that the low voting percentage is due to the relatively low literacy level and educational level of Bihar, and also due to the still very vibrant feudal society, where many poor people belonging to the marginalized sections of the society are do not vote, are not allowed to vote. In spite of the social changes which have occurred in the last 30, 40 years, still the voting percentage in the pre 90 days, 1990 days, the voting percentage used to be 40, 45 percentage. Slightly it has improved now to for 50 to 55 to 60, but it is very low compared to the all India average, and compared to the more developed states. Okay. So I'm posting an election video after last year's 2024 Lok Sabha elections, where I put a projection after every phase of the seven phase national elections. By and large, whatever I said was true, though there were some discrepancies in few states. I would say Odisha, where BJP swept the Lok Sabha polls, winning 19 out of the 20 seats. One seat went to a Congress, and BJD, the ruling party, drew a blank in the Lok Sabha elections, though they did reasonably well in the assembly elections. Even there, BJP formed the government. The second was Karnataka, where BJP did better than what I projected, particularly in the northern Karnataka. And the third was Bihar, where again BJP and NDA did well better than what I projected. Of course, this can be due to various factors. One, my analysis is based on not by ground. I've not been to, unfortunately, last year due to family reasons. I couldn't travel at all during the during the Lok Sabha elections. So my analysis was entirely based on media reports. After, of course, that media reports, not one or two, after many many hundreds of hours of analysis, watching many things, different people, and also talking to people on the ground. But again, my prediction, I would still say, that time I projected that NDA should be winning around 240 to 250 seats, and finally they won around 20 seats more. So by and large, it was UP, bigger states. I was able to predict reasonably well. The states, few states, Odisha, Karnataka, Bihar, it could be due to various factors. One, it could be the vote chori, about which Ravindra today morning also Rahul Gandhi talked about it in Haryana, in Maharashtra. Second is the malpractices associated with EVM. Again, for the past 10 years, people have been saying that EVMs are being manipulated after the voting takes place, and EVMs are stored in the strong room when the other phases of polling goes on. So Lok Sabha elections went on for more than 1.5 months. So there is enough time to manipulate the EVMs from outside the strong rooms using Bluetooth technology. I don't know again how far it is true. Um, Coming to specifically to Bihar election, Bihar is a state where the caste plays the biggest role, and many things can change. And the EBCs, the another what is known as the a new category, of backward classes, extremely backward classes. So this consists of many small groups, almost all of them having 1%, 2%, 1.5%, none of them having more than 2 percentage voting. So how the EBCs vote, because under the caste survey has also been conducted in 2022. Again, this election is going to be a watershed election because it's the first election after the caste survey. So now every party, everybody knows that every constituency at every booth what is the caste composition. So in the survey, as expected, it was predicted that the extreme backward classes, again, what I said, which is consists of hundreds of classes, the caste, small castes, who are not economically well off, like mushars, nonis, mallas, so kumbars. So all of them very small communities, 1%, 1.5% communities, but put together they are around 36% of the population, the largest chunk, followed by the BCs, backward class communities, which around among they are around 27%. The biggest chunk being again Yadavs, who are around 14.5% of the population, followed by the so-called Love Kush alliance, the Koiri, also known as Kushwaha, and Kurmis, Nitish Kumar's community. So put together, the Love Kush communities constitute around 7% of the population. So these are the three major communities who form around 25.5%. The remaining communities, total put together, around 27%. And we have the Dalit communities who form around 17-18% of the population. Among them, the biggest being the Dushaks, around 5.5% population. The main vote bank of Ramvilas Paswan, and after his death, his son, followed by again same other Dalit communities are there, Pasis are there, Ravidas communities are there, Mushats are there, other smaller communities are also there. So totally around 18-19% of the population. Muslims who form around 17.5 to 18% of the population, mostly concentrated in Semanchal area, the area in the northeast of Bihar, bordering Nepal, just south of Nepal, beyond Kosi, east of Kosi, bordering Bengal, and also on the northern side, Nepal, Semanchal, particularly Kishanganj and Katihar districts, where Muslims form a majority. Plus the upper castes form around 15% of the population, among which there are three Muslim communities also, so you can remove around 1% from them. So the upper caste, Hindu upper caste, Bhumihars, Brahmins, Rajputs or Thakurs, Kayats, and Baniyas. So they together, put together, these communities form around 14%, 13.5 to 14% of the population. So traditionally in Bihar politics, since independence or even before independence, during the British era also, the politics has been dominated by two upper castes, Bhumihars, the landowning people community, who form around 3.5% of the population, but are economically well developed and in the still feudal society, semi-feudal society, they control a lot of land and economic leverage in the rural areas of Bihar. And utilizing the economic leverage, they have also well educated and well represented both in the Bihar government jobs, state government jobs, and also in the union government jobs. That data is also there in 2022. Even though Yadavs are around 14.5% of the population, they are represented only in 1.5% of the state government jobs. Whereas the Lavkush community, which is around 7% of the population, is almost 7% in the state government jobs. Whereas Brahmins, who are 3% of the population, are having more than 6% of the state government job. Kayats, who are 0.6% of the population, have more than 6% of the jobs, because Kayats are the community which have benefited max from the British era Western education, both in Delhi, UP, Bihar, Bengal, almost all the places in North India. So Kayats are very particularly teachers and also government administrators and all. So this is how the setup is basically in spite of Lalu's 15 years rule, Rabri plus Rabri. Yadavs are not represented. They are only 1.3% of the government jobs. state government jobs, though they have 14.5% of the state population. So the caste survey, which included the socio-economic survey, tells very clearly the composition and the socio-economic status of each and every community in Bihar. So this is the first election after that. So every party knows, has the data. So accordingly, they can fine tune their politics even up to the booth level. So there is so coming to the present scenario, the last election, 2020 election, was very, very closely fought. The NDA that time, which consisted of mainly of BJP, the majority party being, of course, Nitish Kumar's party, the Janata Dal United, and BJP, along with one of the Dalit parties, HAM, Hindustan Awami Morcha, and Majis, which represented one of the poorest communities in Bihar, one of the Dalit communities, and VIP party, Vishal Insan party of Mukesh Saini, who belongs to an EBC community, a community of people who live near Ganga and are distributaries, and his most occupation is fishing. Even though that community itself is only around 2% of the population, along with some allied communities, he claims the support of around 7 to 8% of the population. Though Ramvilas Paswan was not there even in 2020, after his passing, his son raised a banner of revolt against Nitish Kumar, not against BJP, and he put up candidates against all the constituencies in which Nitish Kumar's party contested. So he cut into that vote, and as I said, the Paswans are around 5.5% of the population. That's a vote share of exactly. That's almost the vote share of that party also. Now that party has come to BJP into the backpack, into the fold this year, and they are also contesting to that as part of NDA. And one more advantage for NDA is, last time Kushwaha's party was not with the NDA. It contested along with the Grand Alliance with the Muslim All India Majlis Party, AIMIM, and their vote share is around 1.5%. That has also come back to BJP. So BJP has gained a vote share of around 6.5 to 7%, compared to, if of course electoral arithmetics in India is never 2 plus 2 is never 4. It is either 3 or 5, or it can be anything, but it can be never be 4. But at the same time, they lost the VIP party, which has come to the opposite group, that is Mahagathbandhan, the Grand Alliance, or the India Bloc, which is led in Bihar by um, Rashtriya Janata Dal, RJD, the once founded by Lalu Prasad Yadav, now under the leadership of his son Tejashwi Yadav, and Congress, and the three leftist parties, CPI, CPIM, and CPIML, which is most strongest among the three left parties, popularly known as Mali group in Bihar. They are contesting more than 20 seats this time also, as part of the Grand Alliance, mostly in South Bihar, the Dalit dominated or the Naxalite dominated South Bihar area, south of Patna, Gaya, Aurangabad districts, where they have a very strong foothold. The Mali group once took up guns, and they were fighting the local Bhumihar landlords, who had their own private army car and Ranbir Sena. The 80s and 90s were full of bloodshed in southern Bihar. Right, even now also tensions do prevail in that part of area between the landlords and the landless Dalit communities, who are represented by the CPIML, who so now coming to the politics. Now last year, the 2020 elections was the closest election you can say anywhere in India after independence. Both alliances scored around 37%, and the final difference was 0.03%, not zero point 0.3, 0.03% between NDA and Mahagathbandhan. And Mahagathbandhan won 110 seats, and BJP led, or Nitish Kumar led alliance won 125 seats, the bare majority. The halfway mark out of 243, the halfway mark being 122. So 125 they got finally. So that is mainly because, not because of the 0.03% thing, but mainly because the role played by All India Majlis, the Hyderabad based party, which has come to Bihar, and they play the role of the spoiler in Maharashtra elections. Also, they do contest in many other places. Also, they did in Delhi elections. Also, they do contest. But in Bihar, as I told you, Simanchal areas, two districts are Muslim majority districts. There, they won 5 seats, and also caused the defeat of the Mahagathbandhan candidates. And they contest only very few handful of constituencies where Muslims are insissable, either in majority or around 30 to 40%, around 24, 25 seats only. But in those seats, they play a very important decisive role, either by winning or by changing the whole dynamics of the electoral politics there. So they not only won 5 seats, but they also caused the defeat of the Mahagathbandhan candidates in around 8 or 9 constituencies. So this time also AMI is contesting. This time they are in alliance with Ramvilas Paswan's younger brother, Paras Paswan, who has split up from his nephew. And he may take away around 0.5% of the vote. He himself is also contesting in one of the traditional seats in near Hajipur. So MIM is not a major force like last year. People, Muslims in many parts of India, including Bihar, have come to kind of an understanding or a conclusion that voting for AIM is not going to win more than a handful of seats, and they are not going to form a government or anything. But voting for MIM is indirectly voting for BJP, because BJP is the ultimate gainer in that. So this year, I don't expect MIM to be a major force as they were in 2020. In fact, it was proved by 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Also, they fared very badly, and most of their MLAs have come back to RJD or Congress. So MIM is a much weaker force this time. So based on that, I would say that in the Simanchal Muslim-dominated areas, in the eastern northeastern part of the Bihar, beyond, as I said, Kosi region, the MIM is expected to win handsomely this time compared to last year. So as I said, it is in a very tight elections. Every vote counts and every seat counts there. MIM, so BJP has gained some votes because of the coming back of Ramvilas Paswan's party back into the thing, Lok Janshakti Party, LJP, and also Kushwaha's party, also Pendra Kushwaha's party, whatever, RLSP, Rashtriya Lok Samata Party, or whatever it is that. So they do gain, but there is an additional 5 years of anti-incumbency. While when the election started, people said predicted that Nitish Kumar is much weaker now. That is also reflected in the seat sharing. For the first time, Nitish Kumar and BJP are contesting on equal number of seats. Always Nitish party used to contest more seats than BJP, but BJP this time insisted upon equal number of seats, and that's what they are doing this time. People said he's also old and he's having health issues and all that, and BJP is having upper hand. Obviously, they are ruling party in center also. That advantage is also there with them. But as this is all the narrative given by the national media, national within quotes, or you can call it Godi media, saying that BJP is a stronger partner compared to Nitish Kumar, because Nitish Kumar Love Kush alliance has only 7% vote, whereas BJP's upper caste alliance is around 14, 13.5 to 14%, though still most of the Brahmins in Mithilanchal still vote for Congress. Not the whole 14, 13.5% vote plus vote share doesn't go to BJP. BJP vote share, hardcore vote bank is close to around 10% only. Whereas Nitish Kumar 7%, but Nitish Kumar gets a lot of votes from EBC communities also, who are, as I said, the biggest chunk of politics. They form around 37% of the population, and Nitish gets a lot of votes from that constituency, even though his core constituency of Kurmi Koiri is only around 7%. Whereas the Mahagathbandhan, led by Lalu's son, Latashvi, their main vote bank is Yadavs around 14.5% and Muslims around 18%. That comes to around 32, 33%, and Congress brings in 7, 8% of most of the upper caste and Dalit population, the non Paswan Dalits. As I said, the Dalits are around 19%, whereas Paswans are only 5.5%. So the remaining 13.5% is non-Dalits. Out of that, around 2-3% votes goes to BSP. Again, Mayawati is BSP, particularly in the Bhojpuri speaking areas bordering UP. This time, Mayawati again is not as a strong force as she used to be, and she couldn't do well even in the UP Lok Sabha elections in UP also. The party couldn't win even a single seat. Now, many people are considering them as a B team of BJP. So, what are those voters? The 2 to 3% of Mayawati's hardcore voters, her own community voters, the Chamas. So, how they are going to vote this time? If they are not going to vote for BSP, how they are going to vote? Again, in a tightly contested election, again and again, I am saying last time the difference was 0.03%. So, every vote counts there. So, again, that is an important thing there. So Congress do get a lot of voters from Brahmin community, from Dalits, from Muslims, etc., and bring in around 7 to 8% vote share also to the Mahagathbandhan. And as I said, add it to the Sainists around 2.5 percentage. That's a votage percentage of Mukesh Saini's community. But he claims that there are allied communities who bring in more votes to him. We don't know that. And Communist Party have a very strong committed carrot, but all put together, all three Communist parties put together have a vote share of around 4 to 5% only. So Mahagathbandhan have a very strong vote base. Yadav, what is known as MY combination, Muslim Yadav, plus some votes brought upper caste votes of Congress, and some Dalit votes brought in by Congress, and mostly Dalit voters and EBC voters of the communist parties put together, and Sainist 2% vote share. All put together, I would put the Mahagathbandhan somewhere around 40-42 percentage. This is committed vote bank. But of course, it doesn't mean we say that all Yadavs will vote for the Mahagathbandhan. There is a split in Lalu's family also. His first son, Tej Pratap, who has been estranged with the family for a few years now, has been officially removed from the party a couple of months back, and he has formed his own political outfit and is contesting around 20 seats. And he himself is contesting in Mahua, one of the sitting seats of RJD. Though he is not expected to win, in some constituencies he may play a spoiler for RJD and cutting into some of the other votes in those constituencies, not more than two or three constituencies in Chapra, central Bihar, which is going to polls in first phase of elections. So not but there are some where there are strong BJP or Nitish Kumar candidates or the Yadavs. The Yadavs may vote for them also. It is not again not all Bhumihars are going to vote for BJP. Again, it's not a simple arithmetic. The polls are never like that. But broadly speaking, I would say that Mahagathbandhan's vote share is around 40 to 42%. The elections here again, uh, and Nitish Kumar understanding his own weaknesses, that his core constituency is only around 7%. Plus, he has deliberately focused upon two big voting chunks in the last 15 years or so. One is the women voters. Women are around 48% of the Bihar population, and they don't vote at all most of the time. Though the overall voting percentage is 57%, out of that, women voters will be only around 20%. So, but slowly the voting percentage of women, as their financial and economic status is improving, they are voting also. So he has focused upon the women, and in two elections back, he gave cycle to girl children, and there are a lot of women-centric schemes he has started, and he has developed a core constituency among the women, particularly among the EBC women. The upper caste women are generally go with the menfolk and vote for BJP. That also belongs to the NDA. Whereas Yadav and the Muslim women vote for Mahagathbandhan. So there is no change in that. Therefore, he focused more upon the extremely backward community and Dalit community women who depend upon the government handouts for their very survival. And just before election, these elections were announced 2 months back, and understanding that there's a huge anti-incumbency after 20 years of continuous rule of Nitish Kumar, a master stroke, he has given 10,000 rupees for whatever the scheme called Lal Beti Batli something some scheme. I forget the name of the scheme. So money has been transferred with the last 1 month or so, just before the elections, so that will be fresh in the memory. The money has been used by the women to buy, though of course the money has been dispersed through microfinance institutions. It is actually a loan, it is not a free gift. It is actually a loan which has to be repaid with interest by the beneficiaries to the microfinance institutions, 10,000 rupees for business purposes, for improving their starting a business. I don't know what business you can start in 10,000 rupees. And this is microfinance. The money has to be returned with interest, but people don't know. They have taken the money and utilized it for buying new clothes for Diwali, and more importantly for the biggest festival of Bihar, Chhat, which happens on the sixth day after Diwali. So the a lot of women are very happy, and now wherever Nitish Kumar's meetings are taking place, you can see more women than men in his election meetings. So Nitish Kumar has once again proved that he is no pushover, and though BJP may try to marginalize him, he may become another Shinde. What happened to Shinde in Maharashtra, he very much he well knows, and BJP may try to push him out. And but of course, he has aligned previously with the Mahagathbandhan. He was CM, and Tejashi was deputy CM for 17 months after he ditched BJP, and BJP tried to ditch him. So all these politics are possible, but that is after the election. We are talking about going to election and how many seats each party is going to win. So this is and whereas Mr. Modi's narrative has been essentially on RJD, the so-called Gundaraj of Lalu and Rabri. But Mr. Modi in the last 10 days has increased his number of electoral meetings, and Mr. Amit Shah also. And every meeting they talk about the Gunda Raj. They say that if you bring Mahagathbandhan back to power, you are bringing the Gunda Raj, essentially meaning the Yadav Raj. But that was 20 years back. Nitish Kumar has been the CM, and in the brief 17 months of Nitish Kumar, Tejashwi Yadav rule, which was hardly happened 2 years back, and it was Tejashwi who ran the show, and Tejashwi gave lot of lakhs of new government jobs also. So Tejashwi is seen as a new age leader, not necessarily Gen Z leader, but at least Gen X leader. And he has nothing to. Most of the people do not even remember how things were there in during Lalu's and Rabri's period. So the BJP's electoral agenda or plank of focusing upon Lalu's so-called Gunda Raj or Muscle Raj has not struck any resonance on the ground this time. Unlike the maybe 10, 15 years back, it might have got some traction. But the new generation, no, the first time voters who were not even born at the time of Lalu and Rabri's chief ministership. So this does not cut any ice anymore, the so-called Gunda Raj. And in fact, an incident which happened 2 days back in a place called Mokama, which is around 60 70 kilometers from Patna in Begusarai district, where one Jansuraj, I'll come to that, the third group's Jansuraj candidate's supporter, one Yadav, was gunned down by allegedly by the Nitish Kumar's candidate, who himself is a Bhumihar Bahubali, Anand Singh. And later he was named in a FIR, and due to huge public outcry, he was also arrested and remanded for 15 days judicial custody. Now it has put a big hole in the BJP's argument of Gunda Raj. So just 2 days before the election, in broad daylight, one NDA candidate is allegedly killing the opposition candidate supporter. It doesn't cut ice anymore. That and anyway, now the most of the Bahubalis are either Bhumihar Bahubalis and Rajput Bahubalis who enjoy state patronage under the last 20 years of NDA rule. There are no more. There is no Muhammad Taslimuddin who is passed away, and there are no more Yadav Musalman in the last 20 years. So the idea of the BJP's agenda of Gunda Raj, that electoral plan, doesn't cut ice anymore. Now the third group which has come, which is an unknown, the Jansuraj party of Mr. Prashant Kishore Pandey, though he officially is not using his caste name Pandey, who is a Mithili Brahmin. He the who consider himself as a political Chanakya, who masterminded the 2014 first electoral victory of Mr. Modi in the Lok Sabha elections in 2014, but who later fell out with Amit Shah and has been on a freelancing spree all over India in various state assembly polls, and who predicted that BJP on its own will win more than 300 seats and NDA will win more than 350 seats in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Such a great mastermind, Mr. PK, popularly known as PK, Prashant Kishore Pandeji. Pandeji started his political party, Jan Swaraj Party, 3 years back. Since he's from Bihar, he says you want a third alternative, and say he said I want to follow Gandhian socialism. I don't know what it means, and he has got a lot of social media traction. So he thought he can ride on to the power just the same way the Aam Aadmi Party did it in Bihar. Sorry, in Delhi 11 years back. But Delhi is a small urban territory, whereas Bihar is a huge state with so much of illiteracy and so much of permutation, combination based on caste and other various local issues. So Bihar is not as easy as Delhi elections are. Delhi is a small compact election, an urban electorate, mostly educated TV or newspaper reading electorate. Bihar is not that. So in the 2024, there are four by-elections in the Bihar, and Mr. PK's Jan Swaraj Party contested in all four and lost in all four. Not only that, finished in third in three constituencies, fourth in one constituency, lost their deposit in three out of four constituencies. But having said that, their vote share is around 10% in the last four by-elections in 2024. They didn't contest the Lok Sabha election, so it happened after the 2024 April-May Lok Sabha election, the Bihar by-elections. Jan Swaraj is contesting in almost all the constituencies alone, and they have got good candidates. One retired IPS officer, more than 50 of them are double postgraduates, dozens of them are doctors. So most of the candidates are young people in their 30s, and out of that they are in contest in maybe around 30 to 40 constituencies wherever their candidates are good. But my opinion is he's not going, and he knows, Mr. PK knows how the wind is blowing. So he himself has decided against contesting in assembly election. That has taken the wind out of the sail of his party in most of the constituencies, because he himself is not trusting himself and contesting him. Initially, he said that he will contest against Tejashwi Yadav in Raghupur. But not only he didn't do that, he is not even contesting from any of the constituencies. So, except for a few constituencies, as I said, maybe 2 or 3 dozen constituencies where the candidates are good, where they may get good number of votes. So the overall, he's not going to be a big but yes, around 6 to 8% vote share he will get it. And whose vote bank he is going to cut? As again, I go back to say that 2020 elections are decided by 0.03%. And whose vote he's going to take? He's going to take from both from NDA and Mahagathbandhan. From NDA, Mr. Prashant Kimsol is a Brahmin, upper caste Brahmin. So he will get some votes from his own community, particularly Mithilanchal area, and also the urban youth, urban upper class, mostly upper caste youth, Kayast, Bhumihar, Brahmin youth in Patna and other cities areas also. So in that sense, he will hurt NDA. But having said that, Tejashwi has again been focusing upon a constituency. The first time voters are the Gen Z voters, people who are in the from 18 to 25 constituency. Bihar does not have any industries, unfortunately. Most of the people come out of Bihar for education purposes, and later they also settle outside Bihar. Bihar, unfortunately, has not developed. It is the least developed state in India. Poor socio-economic, any categories you take it, that will be among the last 2 or 3 states in India. um, semi-feudal or feudal society. People, as the population increases, there is no jobs for them even in agriculture, so they are migrating in large numbers. Originally they migrated to Bombay and Delhi, later they migrated to Punjab and Haryana to do agricultural jobs there. Now they are migrating in large numbers to southern states, in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Bangalore, everywhere in restaurants, everywhere in any kind of menial jobs. You will find a lot of Bihari people working there, in Tirupur, in Tamil Nadu, with the textile industries, in leather industries, in and around Chennai, Bangalore, Beltambur, Vellapur. So mostly people from Bihar are working there. So Bihar doesn't have any industries or any law order situation is very bad. Every district has a Bahubali, more than one Bahubali, gang warfares. Everybody carries a gun. So these are all the reasons why Bihar is not developing. So Tejashwi has given lakhs of, I think around 17, 18 new jobs. Lakh jobs he created during the 17 months while he was deputy CM. He has proved that he can provide jobs. And so youth constituency is what he is focusing upon, 18 to 25, irrespective of the caste. So, whereas that is a constituency, Mr. PK Janswaraj Party is also focusing upon. So in that sense, he will take some of the votes from the people, unemployed people who want more government jobs, state government jobs, who want the Bihar PCS, Pradesh Service Commission PSC to conduct regular exams and all that, with no leakages of papers and all that, and without any corruption. So these are the constituency with both are focusing upon. He will take some of the upper caste votes of BJP, particularly BJP, and he will also take some of the youths who otherwise would have voted for RJD and Tejashwi Yadav. And before the elections, he said that as he will give the candidates, he will contest in all the constituencies, and and his candidate selection will be based on the caste census. So accordingly, the Muslims who are forming around 17.5% or 18% of the population will get around 44, 45 seats, and he will get more seats to EBCs and OBCs, and least to the upper caste candidates. But he didn't do that. He has got the maximum number upper caste candidates, around 95 out of his 235 candidates. So you can say that around 40, 35 to 40% of his candidates are upper caste candidates, and Muslim candidates are only 29, not 44 or 45 as he has promised. And again, OBC candidates are much less, around 80 candidates out of 230, again much less than compared to their percentage in population. So OBC, EBC, Muslim candidates are much less, and he has put up more upper caste candidates. So those upper caste candidates obviously are going to eat into the BJP's hardcore vote bank, not Mahagathbandhan's vote bank. But in constituencies where he has put up Muslim candidates or UBC, EBC candidates, again it depends upon the constituency level management and this thing. So he has campaigned very vigorously, but I think over a period of time, in the last 2 months or so, people are seeing it as again as a two-horse race. He is seen as a vote divider, vote kaatne wala, rather than a person who is going to make a meaningful bid to become the chief ministerial thing. Again, in the last few days, the ground narrative what is going on is, even if PK wins 7 or 8 seats, nobody is giving him more than that number of seats. Even the most optimistic, I'm not giving even a single seat to Mr. PK. Though in a few constituencies, his candidates will win around 15 to 20% seats, but in most of the constituencies, it will be around 5 to 10%, and overall it will be around 6 to 8%. But still, even if he wins 6, 7, or 8 seats, and most of them they will go to BJP after the election. So it's essentially voting for BJP again, indirectly voting for BJP, like last time what MIM they got a lot of Muslim votes in Simanchal, and that indirectly helped BJP to form the government. So things are, he's Mr. PK is not a major force as he hoped for, maybe 2 3 months back. So essentially, it has become NDA versus Mahagathbandhan as it was in the 2020 elections there. So, to focus upon, as Mr. Nitish Kumar has given 10,000 rupees to his core constituency women, Tejashwi is wooing his core constituency, the youth, particularly the unemployed youth, saying that he's going to give a government job to yeah, to one member of each family in Bihar. As per the socio-economic caste survey published in 2022, there are 2.76 crore families in Bihar. So he's going to give, well, let's say that out of that, few lakhs of people are already in government jobs. So he won't give anything to them, those families who are already who already got a government job. So he's going to provide a government job for 2.5 crore families at least. So he's going to create new job for 2.5 crore jobs. He's going to create, and that too, the scheme will be announced within first 20 days of his swearing in on November 15th, and the jobs will be provided within 20 months. That is roughly around 1.5 years, just to 2 years time. He will create 2.5 crore government jobs, state government jobs, and it will be given to at least one member from each family. So it is one of the big jumlas. Jumla is a beautiful Hindi word. There's no rhetoric is the closest English word, but it doesn't exactly mirror the very colorful word called Jumla. The biggest Jumla India has so far seen is for 15 lakhs for every family, as promised by Mr. Modi in 2014, after he takes away all the black money which is put in the Swiss banks, and he will distribute it among all Indians. That will amount to 15 lakhs per family, and still everybody is waiting for that. So, of course, nothing will be equal to that Jumla, but Mr. Tejashwi Yadav's announcement comes very close to that Jumla. First, you cannot find 2.5 crore. Maybe there is one buffoon called Seaman in Tamil Nadu politics who claims that, who has also got that around 6 to 8% vote share, which will come down drastically in the coming election due to the coming to politics of Mr. Vijay, the film star. So, Mr. Seaman has once said that he is going to give, he will make every job, even shepherd's job will also will become a government job, and everybody will get a monthly government salary. It is similar to that this kind of thing. Secondly, that you cannot create 2.5 crore just out of thin air. Secondly, where is the money? Bihar is one of the very poorest states, and even for its survival depends upon central government subsidies, right? So where does he find money for that? And knowing that the Nitish Kumar's constituency of women, particularly EBC and Dalit women, who are coming out in strong numbers to attend Nitish Kumar's electoral meetings, Tejashwi made another jumla 2 days back, that on Maharashtrankranti Day 2026, that is in another 2 months, January 15th, he will give not 10,000. Nitish Kumar has given 10,000 microfinance, not as loan to the women. He is going to give 30,000 rupees to this women in another 2 months. Again, Bihar is going to become bankrupt, right? So if Indian government goes bankrupt, at least they can go to World Bank or pledge the gold in RBI to, and as Chandrasekhar did it in 91, to get some money from the international IMF and all that. So how Bihar is going to make money, and they don't have money to give 30,000 rupees to every family women there. But it is again, you can say, jumlas keep on going, and from both sides. This is not a very healthy sign for politics of this kind, but this has become a norm in India right now. In everywhere, 4.5 years, you loot, you do indulge in all corrupt practices. In the last 6 months, you announce such so-called welfare schemes, and now direct cash transfer schemes are also like this, directly in your money account, particularly focusing upon women. So this election again is very very tight elections, very tight, because the caste combinations are there for everybody to see. So both groups are evenly matched. Both the groups have gained some from 2020, and both groups have lost something from 2020. Tajasvi is seen as the new age. He is free from his father's and his mother's rule, but there is no, on the ground, there is no antipathy towards Nitish Kumar, though there is a some amount of anti incumbency inevitably will be there after 20 years. but there's nothing against he strongly, though people say that his health is not as good as it was before due to age is 70 plus now, but he's still actively campaigning, attending some 4 5 meetings at least per day. And Now it all boils down to, not, I would say that in my opinion, the margin will be again less than 2% vote share. So you cannot exactly predict the seats. It again depends. In, see, you can win a seat by one vote, or you can win it by 1 lakh vote. So the percentage really doesn't matter in electoral arithmetics in India. But overall vote share will be less than 2%. The difference will be less than 2% either way. And it is again constituency, the caste composition, the candidates, their own caste, and how much money they have spent, and their booth level tactics, all how they are able to bring their supporters to vote, and more importantly the voting percentage. Say from 57% in the last assembly election, if it goes to 60%, 3%. But again, it's a very tight election, that 3% will be the deciding factor. A lot of first time voters are there who are expected to vote mostly for RJD due to the employment promises and the 17-month rule in which Tejashwi was the deputy CM. He has got a good traction there. But that increase in percentage could also due to more women beneficiaries of various schemes of Nitish Kumar, the EBC Dalit voters. So who will vote in large numbers to NDA? We can't say that who is going to vote and all those things, etc. It again varies from constituency to constituency also. So it's a very very tight election, very interesting election. So of course some trends you can see that after the first phase ends tomorrow, BJP has done traditionally well in the northwest part of Bhojpuri speaking areas in Bihar bordering Gorakhpur, the south of Nepal, and east of Gorakhpur, the erstwhile Champaran region, where Gandhi started his Champaran Satyagraha and all those things way back in 1916. Some of you could remember from your history books, what you studied in your school time and all that. Champaran Satyagraha, that is in the northwestern part of Bihar. BJP has done extremely well in that part, and also in the Maithalanchal area, the Darbhanga, Samastipur belt. Whereas South Bihar, south of Ganga, south of Patna, Gaya area, Nalanda, Gaya, though Nalanda is a home district of Mr. Nitish Kumar, RJD and Congress tend to do well because of their support given by the communist parties there, and they also tend to do well in the northeastern part, Simanchal area. So now I think the main battle this time is fought in the central belt, in and around Patna, Hajipur, Vaishali, Muzaffarpur, and towards the central part, Bhojpur areas, Chapra, Ara. So even in central part, Lakhisarai, Begusarai, Munger, these are the areas, the areas through which the central part through which Ganga flows through. So this is the battleground areas, in my opinion, and it's on knife edge. Right as of now, I cannot predict anything. As I said, the vote margin will be less than 2%. Again, depends upon how much vote Jan Suraj takes, and whose vote it takes, constituency, and how much MIM is going to play a role. Though they will get much lesser votes compared to last year. Of that, I am of no doubt, and they will not win 5 seats. If they win, maximum it's one or two, but they have a potential to affect the Mahagathbandhan candidates in around 20 seats. How much votes they are going to take, and how much is the victory margin, and all those things. These are all, and again, small players like Paswan, small players like Tej Pratap Yadav, how much impact they are going to have in their constituencies. So it's very tight election, very, very tight election. And so let me, well, you will get some trends after the first phase of voting ends tomorrow. And before the second phase, 11th, I'll post another video where I can update based on the first phase trends and what is going to happen in the second phase. Do we have a clear leader after the first phase of elections? It's very interesting. Of course, in the electoral politics in India, particularly Bihar, is always very interesting, particularly with the caste dynamics and arithmetics. The arithmetics, electoral arithmetics, as I keep on saying, is very different from the normal arithmetics. So the fingers crossed. As a political observer, as a keen political observer, in the last 40 years or so, it's very fascinating to see as things unfold. Each day is different. As I said, just 2 days back before the election, Tejasvi has come up with this 30,000 per women for the Mahara Sankranti 2026. So how, whether it is going to have any impact on the ground level, whether some of the EBC and some of the Dalit women who are expected to vote for Nitish Kumar and NDA are going to shift loyalties. These are big things, we'll wait and see. So I'll post another video in let's say 3 or 4 days later, once the things, the picture becomes more clearer there. Okay, thank you.